Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/rive to receive the top 10 stocks to buy right now. With the emergence of ChatGPT onto the market, we've seen Google and its parent company Alphabet really playing from the back foot for the first time in about 20 years. And artificial intelligence could be more disruptive to the company than a lot of investors think. I want to dig into exactly why it will be disruptive, even if Google makes its own AI product that's very successful and kind of fends off ChatGPT. Google still could be a loser in this AI battle. I want to dig into exactly what I mean in this video. My name is Travis William. Thank you for watching Rive Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And let's dig right into the latest news from Google. This is from The Verge, but there's been a number of reports saying that Google is going to release an AI-powered search tool next month. The code name is Magi, or Magic for short, and follows the Bard chatbot that Google at least was playing around with when ChatGPT was released, but that didn't seem to go very well. So maybe this is a little bit more thought through product. This comes on the heels of a couple of things. One is that the New York Times reported that Samsung was considering replacing Google with Bing as the default search engine. Google has actually paid companies like Samsung and Apple, is really the big player here. They paid them billions of dollars to be the default search engine because when you just open up a browser, it just basically pops up Google and they generate a ton of revenue for that. I'll show in just a second why that's so important for their business. But this was kind of a shot across the bow for Samsung saying, hey, we might actually switch to a competitor of yours. Even if that takes a small chunk of Google's core business, that is a notable piece because it's giving validity to Bing as a search engine, especially as an AI search engine. And obviously, we know that ChatGPT has been pretty disruptive from at least a number of use cases for search engines and AI in general. So I want to highlight the numbers here because this really shows why search is so important for Google and for Alphabet, the parent company. Google search and other in 2022, $42.6 billion in revenue. That was just for the fourth quarter of the year. So about 70% of revenue comes from Google search. And where exactly does that revenue come? Let's show right here. If you search for something like Chevy Tahoe, what are you going to get? You're going to get a whole bunch of ads. These are sponsored ads. This is a sponsored ad. Basically, everything you see on this first page here is a paid for ad. And the reason that is happening with Google is that's how they're making money. So they're prioritizing these sponsorships. But it highlights how Google's business has played out over the last decade or two. Google really started out as a search engine where you would go to find a piece of information, you would get those 10 blue links, and maybe the first one or two was going to be able to answer the question that you had. Over time, as ads filled up more of the space on a page, especially on mobile, think about mobile, how small that screen is. Everything you see when you make a search is going to be an ad. As a result, the companies who are trying to sell products, even though they might be the first search result, they also feel like they have to be the first sponsored result. So this sponsorship on the page that I just pulled up here, the first sponsored ad on a search for Chevy Tahoe, which should clearly just pull up Chevy Tahoe's website, is a sponsorship from Chevy. So Chevy is paying to be the first result on both the sponsorship section, despite the fact that the exact same link is the first result in the organic search results. That right there shows exactly how Google makes so much money. Even if companies have great search results and show up in the top in the SEO forms, they still feel like they have to pay to show up in the sponsored section and the paid section of those search results as well. So what happens when AI starts to come in? Now, AI, you're asking it a question. It's maybe a little bit more organic. If you've used ChatGPT, you're not typing in the same things like Chevy Tahoe. You're typing in maybe, where's a Chevy Tahoe dealer near me? Or what is the price of a Chevy Tahoe? And a chatbot is going to give you a response. It's not just going to serve you an ad that you're going to click on. So the monetization of any ads that do exist on a product like that are going to be completely different. It might not be as financially viable for Google and for Alphabet long term. That's what I say when I mean they may actually be able to fend off something like ChatGPT or Bing using AI. But even if they do, the money that they make may not be the same as it was in the days of the search results when advertisers had to pay to be the first thing that you see when you type in a search. So there's a couple ways that we're going to be able to see what the impact is here. One is just simply the revenue line. What happens to the revenue line for Google search? Does that start to deteriorate, indicating that either advertisers are leaving for elsewhere, maybe somebody else is taking market share like Bing? But the other thing to look at is costs and margins. Do costs start to go up, or do margins start to come down because those advertising dollars simply aren't there the way that they once were? That's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. But typically, disruption does not end with the companies that were dominant in the last paradigm being dominant in the next paradigm. So I'm really interested to see how Google handles this. I don't know that they're set up particularly well from a business model standpoint to be able to utilize AI in the same way that a new company like OpenAI is with ChatGPT. But keep an eye on this and remember that even if Google does have a big AI, but keep an eye on this and remember that even if Google does build something that's very successful in AI, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be as financially successful as the Google search engine. But what are your thoughts on Google in artificial intelligence? I'd love to hear those in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Rive Investing, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you here next time.